This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
Ben Settle, super practical.
I'm not telling people to have a mistress. I'm teaching you, learn the lesson from the people who have a mistress, because there's many business lessons that apply.
Pious.
There's a part in the book of Revelation where Jesus says, I want you either hot or cold. I'm spewing lukewarm churches out. And I think it's a good way to look at your list.
Romantic to his very core.
Once in a while, I'll give my girl a present, like a Snickers bar or something.
And totes tender.
If someone asks you to walk on eggshells, smash the eggshells and let the chips fall wherever they may.
Adored by feminists everywhere.
It takes a strong woman to admit when she's wrong.
Not a judgmental bone in his entire body.
I look at all the free information people give just on Facebook and I go, what a bunch of time hose.
Has a PhD in armchair philosophy.
In the land of dumbasses, the smartass is king.
You'll never meet a more sensitive guy.
If you really care about people, you shame the hell out of them. This is Ben Settle, the bensettle.com podcast. So, I'm going to switch things up a little bit here, Jonathan, because, these last several ones were very, very philosophical in some ways. Very resourceful, I guess, if you want good resources. Hopefully thought-provoking, hopefully not boring. But this time, there's something I know. I like to look at brick-and-mortar businesses every now and then, especially in industries that have a lot of competition, and they're overrun with competition. It's not easy. And there's probably the hardest business to be in, from what I understand, is the restaurant business. Like, most of them just fail. They have razor thin margins usually. Not the people. There's a few smart ones that know what they're doing and all that. They know how to use it, like create continuity and all that for it. But I'm just talking about like fast food and all that. And I got to thinking. Now, this was a while back. I don't live near. I don't know if you know. Do you know what an In-N-Out burger is, Jonathan? You ever heard of that?
Yeah. They're on the West Coast.
They're on the West Coast. They're not in Oregon, unfortunately. I wish they were. There's always like this joke that goes around saying, yeah, they're going to build one in your town. It never happens. They're just screwing with us, Jonathan. They're screwing with our heads when they say that.
Bastards.
But there's something interesting about In-N-Out Burger, and like as opposed to like a McDonald's. And I'm not going to pick on McDonald's because I think McDonald's actually has an ingenious system in place. I mean, if you think about it, and this is something I heard Dan Kennedy talk about in his $1 Million Marketing Strategies product. He's like, McDonald's has the worst food, the worst employees, like probably the dirtiest overall restaurants, don't have the best burgers. They pay the employees probably the least amount of money, and they have like no direct supervision from the owners. And yet they outsell all the other ones. Wendy's, all of them. They outsell all of them, even though they have better food and everything, because they have a better system in place, basically. So there's a lot to be learned from McDonald's. In fact, I may even do an intense study on McDonald's. I find it very fascinating, but not today. But there's a lot you can learn from this kind of, like these other businesses, like Walmart, for example. Let me tell you about Walmart, Jonathan. Let me tell you something you probably didn't know about Walmart. I hope you didn't know about. So many years ago, circa 2006, I think, or 7, sometime like that, I did a joint venture with Michael Senoff, hardtofindseminars.com. He produced this product about how to get a product into Walmart and selling in Walmart and the big retail stores. Like, even if you have no product now, like how to do it, how to get a product and put it in Walmart and have it selling. And so part of that product was him interviewing a whole bunch of Walmart buyers, like the people who work at Walmart over in Bensonville, Arkansas, who actually determine what products are going to get in Walmart or not. And like, he didn't interview any current ones, but like one used to be one. And he talked to these other giant retailer like type buyers and people who did that kind of stuff. And it was a really good product. It was really interesting. I don't remember how well it sold or anything, but I know we got some sales from it, but I don't really remember. I don't think he pushes it very hard. It's not like everyone's waking up in the morning saying, hey, I wish I could get a product into Walmart, right? It's like something you have to sell your list on wanting, which is fine. I mean, I know he's made sales, but whatever. I wrote the sales letter for it, and I don't know. But the thing that I found very fascinating about it was how Walmart determines if your product is going to be in there, besides the obvious stuff. You could have the best product in the world at the best price in the world that you'll give away free practically, and they still won't put it in there, Jonathan, unless, and this is key, unless your product is going to sell the other products around it.
Wow.
It's very ingenious, isn't it? In its simplicity. For them, it's not about selling the thing. It's about selling a thing that sells the other things around it so they get more sales overall. So everybody wins. The Walmart obviously wins, but so does the product people. If someone else's product is helping sell their product, I'd have to believe that's helping everybody. But I thought that was a very interesting concept. And, that's something I've applied to my own business, to my one-click upsells, for example. I'm very cognizant of that now. They're not just random products that I just throw up there. It's like, will this product help sell the next one? Will this first product in the one-click upsell channel help sell the next one incrementally? Or is it kind of a disconnect? And people say that's common sense, but common sense ain't common. And I don't see a whole lot of people applying this to their businesses. So that's my whole point. You can learn a lot about from studying a non-internet related business or a non-direct response marketing business, online or offline, doesn't matter, by looking at these big brick and mortar companies that are very successful. And one of the more successful ones is In-N-Out Burger. Now, I know they're in California. I know they're in Arizona. I don't know all the states they're in. What I do know is this, Jonathan, is that anytime I go to a town with an In-N-Out Burger, I have to go to In-N-Out Burger.
Really?
I love In-N-Out Burger. Now, they do have superior food to like pretty much all the other ones, and that's fine. But it goes beyond that. There's other things they do. People literally travel out of their way to go to In-N-Out Burger when they come to a town. So you could say, well, if it was everywhere, they wouldn't be doing that. And that may be true. I don't know. I mean, they're not obviously they're not as populated. They haven't populated the country with as many as McDonald's has, obviously. But I believe there's 5 reasons why this applies. And I think all 5 of these reasons will apply to anybody's business who's listening to this. Whether you're offline, whether you're a copywriter, your service provider, a coach, consultant, copywriter, whatever, designer, programmer, whatever you do, I think this will apply to it. It'll apply to if you sell informational products. It'll apply if you sell supplements. It'll apply if you sell continuity. It'll apply if you sell widgets or socks or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. I believe these 5 things, and there's many more than just 5. I don't want to limit it to just that, but these are the 5 that popped in my head when I was thinking about it. And again, I have to reiterate, chances are, if you're listening to this and you live in the United States, you know somebody who loves In-N-Out Burger and who will go out of their way, the miles out of the way. Like, for example, when you go to like San Diego or something, you may have to drive 45 minutes to get to a stupid In-N-Out Burger.
Really?
But it's worth it once you get there. It's like, there's an experience there. I can't really explain it. They're always crowded, for one thing. So it's not because they're not, I mean, it's frustrating. I've never been in one that's not with a long wait. I've never been in one. Even though they try to make them spacious, whether it be the drive-through or if you're going inside, there's always a wait. And it's like, oh man, I hope I can find a table. Now, that doesn't just happen by accident. That's not like some trendy thing because it's cool or whatever. They're doing something right. You don't see that problem at McDonald's except it's during lunch hour or something. But this is all day during an In-N-Out Burger, the ones I've been to at least. It's always crowded, constantly. And they don't even like do all this much advertising or anything. Not that I've seen. I don't see any In-N-Out Burger ads when I go travel places. I'm not saying there aren't. I'm just saying they're not. If they are doing it, they're not doing it in some direct way that's making me have to go there. So one thing they do that I love the most, Jonathan, is they are simple. Okay. Have you been to an In-N-Out Burger?
Yeah, I had my first one when we brought Dong home from the Philippines because we landed in California.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So did you notice the simplicity? Like when you walk in, there's only like 4 things you can buy in the menu.
Yeah.
Right? That's not like you are not overrun with, the Mick this and the Mick that and the, the double and the triple and the double stack and this fries and that fries and 5 different flavors of shakes. I mean, it's very simple what you can get. It's like 5 things, like fries, burger, whatever, and that's it. And there's some off menu things you can get. I think they'll do like a low carb version with like a lettuce instead of the lettuce is the bun and whatever. But it's very simple. Like you don't have to sit there and like, well, let's see, what do you want? If they did and they were as crowded as they are, it'd be even worse. You'd have to be waiting even longer, I guess. But it's very simple. And I'm a big fan of simple when it comes to selling, especially in direct response marketing. Like, opt in, sell them flagship product, then they give them options for selling them other things. But first you kind of do I'd like to do the Sean D'Souza sequential selling thing because it's very simple. It makes it very easy for them to know where they're at in the process and what to buy next. Very rarely does anyone ask me, so Ben, which of your products should I buy first? Because I only really promote one product. So it's very simple. This is what I want you. This is all I plug every day. Beginning of the month, I'll plug other stuff, but for the most part, I plug email players. And there's a very specific reason for that. And the upsells for email players are very specific and put in a very specific order for a very specific reason. One of those reasons is simplicity. And so it is. So you can never go wrong by being simple is my whole point. And I think In-N-Out Burger does that. McDonald's does the same thing for the most part. Like everything is their floor plan is the same in every McDonald's. And that's not by an accident. People don't have to wonder where they're supposed to sit and where they're supposed to go or where the line is. It's all very simple. But In-N-Out Burger is just based on simplicity. Another thing is it has built-in scarcity. It is only available on the West Coast. Like, that's why people have to go there, assuming they want it and they've heard about it. And even if they've never had it, there's like this thing. You got to go to In-N-Out Burger if there is one. Chick-fil-A is kind of the similar, but I think there's more Chick-fil-A's than there is In-N-Out Burgers, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But it's scarce. Like I said, you wouldn't even have gone to one had you not flown into California on the way back from the Philippines.
Right.
Yeah, I can't go on them up here. I have made road trips to go to In-N-Out Burger. Back when I used to date this girl who lives in a town called Medford in Oregon here, which is not far from the California border. And we once made a 2-hour trip to go to In-N-Out Burger because we both liked In-N-Out Burger. And it was a fun road trip and all that. But that was the reason was In-N-Out Burger. And people do it all the time. And not just because it's simple, because it is scarce. When you find one, you're all over it. So, now McDonald's is not scarce. But I'm sure McDonald's makes a lot more money too, don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying for most of us are more of an In-N-Out Burger than a McDonald's. Well, Amazon would be a McDonald's. Jonathan, you and I would be more like an In-N-Out Burger. Okay?
Take that.
Like, we have to keep contact. I would be happy to be. The next thing is friendliness. Now, I know coming from me, because I'm not always the most friendly guy in the world, but I'm not mean to people either, unless they give me crap first. Let's be honest here. I'm actually very, very kind. I try to be friendly. I mean, I'm not like a jerk to anyone. I just don't like small talk, Jonathan. Sue me, all right?
Yeah.
I don't like small talk. People take that as rude. People literally get mad at me if I don't answer them back. Let's say they send me an email or they send me a Facebook message or something. They literally get offended when I don't get back to them, or they send me a text. I'm like, well, you didn't ask me anything. Like, I'm not getting engaged in small talk here with you.
Acknowledge me.
Yeah, it's like I'm not like that. I'm the opposite. I want to be unacknowledged. I'd rather people not acknowledge me. And but I've had people actually tell me that it like bothers them. And I'm like, well, you're not really getting in you're looking for small talk here. I'm not going to do small talk. And even people who send me emails, if they make them too long, I don't even read the whole thing. And I was like, look, this is too much. Just say what you got to say and get out. But see, that's that. But I'm still not mean to them. I'm just not getting back to small. I'm not doing small talk. But at In-N-Out Burger, they're genuinely friendly people. Like, it is. Did you notice this, Jonathan, when you went in there? Like, they're like the most friendly workers. They get I think they get homeschooled kids, and they who actually can speak perfect languages. Like, they can speak sentences.
Nice.
But I noticed that every time I've been in one, that you're not dealing with you're dealing with a higher quality employee. That's been and this spans many different In-N-Out Burgers in many different cities. So it's not like just one city or something. I've noticed that they're just a higher quality employee. I don't know if they vet them more. I don't know if they pay them more. I have no idea, but they're just friendlier people. Like, they're just and I'll tell you a story about this. This is in my Christian Business Secrets book, actually. Greg Perry, who's a friend of this show, he's one of the people I interviewed for Christian Business Secrets. And he was telling me about Chick-fil-A. Now, Chick-fil-A and In-N-Out Burger are very similar in their outlook and in the way they do business. They're very similar. And he's talking about how Chick-fil-A, how this family of 5 came to a Chick-fil-A and they were just about ready to close. Or they were closing, I think. And it was raining out and they knocked on the door and they not only did they let them come back in, even though I think they just closed or they're about to close. The employees went out there with umbrellas and ushered the kids inside.
Wow.
Can you imagine a McDonald's doing that? Or anyone doing that? That goes well above and beyond anything I would do.
They hate you for showing up.
Can you imagine that though? Like that, but that's the kind of employees you get at Chick-fil-A, but it's in In-N-Out. I don't know if In-N-Out have ever done that, but that's the quality you get. It's a very high quality employee, a very friendly employee. I don't know if they just train people. I have no idea what the reason is. I don't know what the commonality is, but there's something there. Another thing I noticed about it, and I'm sure you have too, Jonathan, is the cleanliness. Do you feel, it wasn't exactly a pigsty, right? When you went in there?
Yeah. Clean, spotless.
Yeah, very clean. And I think about internet sites and all that. How many sites are just not clean? And I don't mean dirty, like bad or anything, but dirty, there's too much going on. They have way too much going on. These news sites are the worst. These stupid news sites, oh my God, they're getting obnoxious. For all these, there's 10 different pop-ups and videos starting automatically. And then they shunt you to a whole other page and you have to backtrack to the other page, especially on phones. It's even really bad. It's that's just dirty. That's like going into a dirty restaurant. Keep it clean. Look at drudgereport.com. It's very clean. Look at any of my sites. Very clean. At least I try to keep it clean. Very simple on what to do, what to read. There's not a bunch of stuff trying to distract you from the main content. But what do you see when you go to a lot of these websites, John? You see social media buttons everywhere, autoplay videos. Well, yeah, but that's what works. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to say what works, what doesn't, but I know I want a clean restaurant, Jonathan. I want a clean website. And that's how
no pubes on your soap.
And I don't want anything spilled on the ground, right? I don't want a sticky floor. That's what I don't want. I want an employee there mopping up constantly. I want a bathroom with the floor so clean you could eat off it if you had to. That's what I want in my restaurants, and that is what I will get on my websites. And finally, and again, there's probably way more than 5 here, let's face it, but here's another one to think about. It has a very old-fashioned vibe to it. Like, you instantly trust it. The employees still wear the paper hats they wore back in like the 1934 or whatever. Like, it's just a very like old-fashioned feel. Like you're going into the old school soda fountain, where everything costs a penny. And it's just got that old-fashioned vibe to it, which I think helps it. Jonathan, did you notice that? Maybe I'm just hyper aware of this stuff, but did you notice this? It's almost like a blast from the past, like an old school burger joint.
Yeah, a little nostalgia going on.
Yeah, it's not like shoved in your face nostalgia. It's not like it's trying to be. It's just a vibe there. And I try to make my websites kind of like that too, in the sense that you could read my sites in 1995 and read it now and they'd probably look the exact same. It's almost like it's more, I don't know what it is. There's almost something like it's more trusted when something has been around a while. I'm not saying you should rely on that, like these people who say, well, we've been in business for 70 years. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying the overall vibe and feel of whatever you do. Something as simple as, for example, if you're a freelance copywriter, simply actually getting on the phone with a client is like, becoming unheard of in some places from what I understand. Like, but people want that. It's old fashioned and they like that. And not just getting on the phone, but just doing all kinds of stuff. Giving a phone number on your website. A lot of people don't do that. They're scared to. I have one on mine. I never check it. Like it's just a voicemail, but I don't even check it. Honestly, I really don't. But at least it's there. So it is that old school vibe. And so it is. So anyway, those are 5 things I thought about. Not sure what we'll talk about next week, Jonathan. I may do a Q&A. I may do another 7 email players rules, or I may do something completely off the wall. I just don't know yet. I'll know more next time before we start. And that's that.
Fair enough. Another bensettle.com podcast is in the can. Back with you next week.
You've been listening to the bensettle.com podcast. To download yourself a free issue of Ben's prestigious $97 per month email players newsletter, which is going to show you 24 ways to write emails people eagerly read, click, and buy from, head on over to www.bensettle.com. Off you go. You know it makes sense.
This is the podcastfactory.com.